I made a mistake. Uh-oh, where did that one go? Where did that one go?
Helicopter. The tennis ball of course speed it since it's heavier. Go. Tennis ball. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, now that we have our videos taken, we're going to import them into Logger Pro. So the way we do that is we go up to our menus and we insert a movie. So you go insert movie, and then you pick the movie that you wanted. So I think ours was on the desktop in the ball drop video, and it was the last one that we took. You can preview it with these controls. Play.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so there's our movie, and you can see that a lot of it is just like not part of the actual drop, and that's okay. So we have to prepare our video, and in order to do that, we go down here and press this enables you to video analyze. So when you push that button, you get this panel over here. And the main thing for the analysis part of it is to just make the window as big as possible so you can see. I have this feature where I can go control and 2-finger scroll. I can actually zoom in on different parts of my window. I find that to be a really useful tool. You do that in the settings menu. Okay, so you can go back to the beginning and then see the balls automatically in Auden's hand, and I can kind of get a sense of where I want to start. So that's kind of where I want to start, and these two buttons, I can forward and I can reverse. So what I want to do is find the exact moment where Auden drops the ball. Okay, so let's keep going back until we find it. Let's see, this is not in his hand. So somewhere around there, right? So that's in his hand. He's kind of moving it a bit. But I would say maybe that's the first moment it drops. It's kind of hard to say, but I'd say approximately there. He's also holding a little whirligig. We did an experiment for air resistance, and so he was comparing the flight of this little helicopter versus his ball. But right now we're just going to focus on the ball. So one of the things we have to do is tell Logger Pro how big things are in the picture. I mean, we don't know if he's like a little person or a huge person. We don't know anything about scale. Right now, it's only measuring it in pixels. So we have to tell the program how big is a pixel. So I'm going to zoom in on this ball, and I'm going to, going off of the website, I know that this ball is, it has a diameter of 10 inches. 10 inches, I believe, is 0.254 meters. Okay, so I'm telling it how big the dimensions are. Great, so now I'm ready to start plotting my points. This is how you plot your points. And what you basically do is you just pick a spot. So don't do that. Actually, we got to find our spot again. I got off. Let's go back to where. Okay, so what we're going to do is zoom in on this, and I think you could pick the middle. I kind of think picking the top point and putting it in the crosshairs is maybe the most accurate, so I'm going to do that. So anyways, here I go. I'm going to click it, and watch what happens when I click. It moves it ahead a little, so it moves it ahead 1 frame. It's communicated with your video to know that each time the ball moves ahead, it's 1/30th of a second. So Logger Pro has that information. It may not be exactly vertical, so you might have to pivot, but I'm just trying to get it so that the top part of the ball is right in the crosshairs of my axes. So now I'm just going to keep doing this. Okay, so now I have it. That's all my points, and I can actually go back to the beginning and play it.
3, 2, 1, go.
And I can see it is marked clearly. And I'm just ignoring the rest of the video because it doesn't really matter. Now, the cool thing you can do is analyze a lot of different stuff. So Command R is a useful tool to spread out your windows. It minimizes everything and spreads it all out. And you can see what it generates is a table of values and graphs. And look at that beautiful graph. So what I want you to notice here is that it's currently plotting the x position and the y position. Now the x position shouldn't really change because if you think about it on the x-axis, it's kind of always staying in a line. You can see that it's a little bit off, which means my axes were not 100% vertical. Maybe I was holding the camera a little bit off when I was taking the video. You can actually correct for this using this button, which is the set origin. So what I can do is I can zoom in here and set the origin to be at the very first point, right? So there's my origin, and I can also now take that yellow dot, see how it's a little bit off from the vertical? I can actually rotate this around until it's a little more accurate. So that's a bit of a better reflection of the axes. And then you'll notice that Command R, that now like my X is great. And I don't really care about the X. What I'm really interested in is this Y. So if I go into more, right click, I'm just going to get rid of the X and just look at the Y. So you can see I've got a beautiful parabola, which is what we would expect with this. Now there's a couple of things you can do. You can linearize this data, or we can actually, Logger Pro has the ability to just go in, instead of plotting the Y, I can plot the Y velocity. And look at that beautiful curve. What it's saying is that every second the speed is changing by the same amount each time. And to figure out how much it's changing by, we can actually graph this. We can find the slope of this. I'm going to exclude these last 2 points because they just seem to be a little off. And so when I go ahead and plot this, let's see, what do I find? 9.1. Okay, so that's like amazingly accurate compared to what we should get, which is the acceleration to gravity, which is 9.8. It could be the accuracy of, maybe I shouldn't have used the ball as a measurement. If I had a very accurate account of the ball, then I would be able to, maybe my scale is off, and that's one of the reasons. Another possibility is, yeah, just the plotting. It's a pretty, the video's taken from far away. But I think if you look at 9.1, if we pull up a calculator and find our percent accuracy, in this case, it's 9.1 minus 9.8 divided by 9.8, which is the true value. We get an accuracy of 7%. It's pretty good for like a quick video that we took and analyzed. So you can see this is really useful tool. What it's telling me is that every second the speed of the ball changed by well, in this case it says 9.1 meters per second every second.